absolutely the fuck not. But I don't know. This girl might be fine with it. It's up to them. The boundaries of a relationship depend on the people in the relationship. So I don't know what we're doing.
So if you can't satisfy your man, he wants to just go and come back. Is that so bad though?
For me, yeah.
Why?
Because I don't even want him. He can go. Actually, he doesn't. I don't want him to come back. He can.
Exactly.
Damn.
Okay.
But can you make the argument that you're on OnlyFans?
What does that have to do with it? It's a non sequitur.
Well, here's the thing. You're demanding him to be monogamous to you, right? And
I didn't even say I demanded that. But if I don't want to have sex with him and he's like, what is he, a fucking, like, I know we're all technically animals, but that's just a little, I like a more evolved man than that. He has to go step out.
Evolved line.
All right. Very interesting. Very interesting. So you want him to be faithful to you?
Depends if, I mean, so far in my relationships, we've had monogamous relationships, but I'm not diametrically opposed to open relationships either. It depends. We have to have communication, honesty, integrity.
All right. So they got to tell you up front is what it is.
I wouldn't tolerate it, like if it's one-sided the way you guys like things, but that's me.
Oh,
we're all different.
Open on both
We're all
ends.
different. We have different values.
You want it to be open on both ends?
If it was open, it would have to be open on both ends.
I mean,
if it was open.
You're open.
But if you're with a man that you actually like, would you actually want to have sex with other dudes though? Specifically, being honest here?
Me, no, but I would listen. But I would want to hang out with other dudes. I make sex tapes on OnlyFans, so I have to continue to do that in this point. So yeah.
Wait.
It can't be one-sided in that way.
Sex with who?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. So you're telling
you
me
guys should subscribe.
you would technically speaking
I had to bring that in.
not want to do it, but if you did it, you would go other guys and
I'm just saying the rules have to be fair. So it's in law, it have to be a facially neutral law.
Facially?
Yeah. So it would have to be on its surface, it would have to be fair.
Surface?
So,
Life isn't fair though.
but is life thank you. Is life fair?
what does it have to do with anything?
We're just saying, look, you don't want to do it. Hold on, you said yourself you don't want to do it, right? So
yes, but I could. And if I want to go on a date with a guy tonight, I should be able
But why
to.
force it if you don't want to do it?
I'm not going to force it, but if I want to, it can't be. The rules can't be. I can, you can't.
So
now if it's not neutral in its application, like if he wants to do it and I don't feel like doing it, that's different. But if I want to, I can. That's the point.
I'm pretty
She
sure.
wants to be able to reserve the right to go out and step out of the relationship.
But I'm pretty sure if that happened to you, you wouldn't do it.
But on what basis are you're saying it's because it's equal partnership? On what? But do you think men and women actually are equal though? Realistically speaking?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Ooh, okay. That's where that comes
That's
from.
the premise.
Yeah. So she thinks men and women are equal, which is why she.
So why aren't they equal?
We were born differently.
We're absolutely different from a biological
well, different
sense.
doesn't mean unequal. Black and white people are different, but they're still equal.
No, I understand that.
Okay,
but within the confinements of like human rights and everything else like that, but within the confinements of a relationship, men and women
different
are not the same
doesn't
at all.
mean unequal though. Different, just apples and oranges are different, but they're both fruit. Like it's just stupid.
Yeah, but we're not. Go ahead. You have something?
When it comes to dating, man and women, do we bring the same thing to the table?
Sometimes, yeah.
How?
Well, how not? Why not? You're the one making the claim, so you have to defend the claim.
Okay, no. But once again, I'm asking you, what do we bring that's different?
I don't bring it. I mean, we're different genders, but for instance, I don't like the traditional you pay my bills and I give you sex. Like that's not for me.
From a biology standpoint, we have different parts, right?
What do you mean if we have different parts? Yes.
So are we the same?
I didn't say we were the same. I said we're equal. You guys, this is very simple. Equal doesn't mean the same.
I have a point though.
Wait.
Sorry, you had something?
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
personally, I mean, not trying to offend you, but
sure.
I don't think that we are equal for the fact that women were born with value and men weren't. So, and I have a brother too, so I can back it up that it's harder for men because they have to struggle a lot. They have to put more effort. They have to make sure that they look good and everything. And not saying that we don't want to look good either, but we're already born with a high value. So only that way that we can downgrade is honestly if we, sorry, not trying to be disrespectful, but if you show yourself in an incorrect way or you make yourself look like a hoe.
Okay, so you've been watching some of their episodes, I can see. It's like literally him word for word.
Anyway.
But I mean, I think we're all born with value. Like we're not like fucking Hitler. Like everyone's born with value.
Whoa.
If you're saying that some men men have to work for their value, I don't know what that means. Like they have to work to be attractive.
You're a woman, so it's hard to.
So because I don't have to work to be attractive, and they have to work to be attractive, now everything's unequal, and they can. I just don't subscribe to that.
I mean, it's the reality that for a man to mate, he has to bring significantly more accomplishments to the table to have the same options and the ability to get with the opposite gender that a woman has. By the time a woman's 18 years old, she's able to, if she's attractive enough, she can align herself with some of the top tier men. A man has to become top tier to even be able to get the chance a lot of the time.
So why does that mean though that you should be able to act on that? Like I know you make the argument that it's easier for women, but that if something's wrong, it's wrong. It's easier for you to kill me than it is for me to kill you. But
let me ask
murder's
you
still
something.
wrong.
Let me ask you something. You come from the legal world.
Yeah.
Are you and a paralegal the same?
No.
Oh, and I love how you didn't like how you had disdain for when I brought that up.
I didn't have disdain. I just had disdain because it's a non sequitur. But
no. I'm going to explain the analogy here. The reason why is because you had to go through a lot more trials and tribulations to earn your title versus the paralegal went through a fraction of the schooling that you did. So you guys are not the same. So therefore, they don't have the same authority that you do as a lawyer because you busted your ass to become one. A paralegal is out there helping you with what you're doing, but you're the leader because you earned that right.
But relationships aren't like I earned the authority.
Though. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because men are expected to protect and provide for women in general in a traditional relationship. So if I'm expected to protect and provide for you, I have some authority. I need to have some authority over you because I'm responsible for you.
First of all, not all relationships have this traditional.
I understand your perspective.
Traditional word.
I get that. Yeah. Not every single relationship is traditional. However, a majority of women, you might not be it, but I'm just making an argument for the majority. A majority of women prefer and would enjoy a traditional relationship where the man is the breadwinner, the protector, and the provider. Women typically, when they work, don't want to pay the majority of the bills. Most of them want to work what I say electively versus the man must work from a mandatory standpoint. I think if I land up 100 women, they'll prefer the guy to be the breadwinner and she could work on her own terms.
So you think being the breadwinner automatically gives you that authority because you're earning the money and whatever she's providing to the relationship is not as valuable in a traditional way.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as the breadwinner, that is just one of many components that puts the individual in the authority position, which I would argue the man needs to be in that position for attraction to be maintained. But you're
assuming that the breadwinner role gives somebody that authority.
It's just one component of it.
What's the other component?
The protector and the provider and the leader.
Okay, and she's providing, I'm saying in a traditional relationship, the home and the kids, that's not equal?
I never said that's not important. But
is that equal? No?
It's not equal within the confinements of a relationship because the man needs to be the leader.
So that's not as important. Raising your children isn't important as
no, it's extremely important.
But is it as important?
But it's different.
Okay, different, yeah, but is it unequal? Because you're arguing it's unequal. So if you're saying unequal, that means one role is more important than the other, and that's what gives you the authority.
Well, the thing is that the roles that I have are very important to the survival of the family from a holistic standpoint. If I'm the protector and the
raising
provider,
the next generation isn't important?
I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that for us to even be able to have the child in a safe space as in a family, I need to make sure that I'm on point for us to be able to have that child to thrive. I mean, we forget about all this because we're in a modern day society with, technology and all these modern conveniences. But, you got to remember that human beings are, a progression of a bunch of conditioning. So before, we didn't have all the modern conveniences we did now. So the man had to be the leader and the protector and the provider to ensure that his wife was safe and the children were safe. So he was the head of the household for that purpose.
But we're not in hunter-gatherer times anymore. We've evolved for millions of years, and I don't think we just malfunctioned in 2023 by having less stringent gender roles. We're evolving to our times and our circumstances. So to constantly be like, well, in hunter-gatherer times, millions of years ago or whatever many years ago, this was the way. If that doesn't apply to now, you need to withstand rational inquiry. So if you have a belief of yours, it has to withstand rational inquiry for the time. So you can't be like, well, this is how it is because it's evolutionary reason that I'm saying. If it doesn't make sense in 2023, then you're stupid for following that.
Okay, really? So let's go ahead with some rational inquiry. Okay. Why is it that women still prefer men that are stronger than them, taller than them, make more money than they do, are superior to them in almost every regard, even though they're able to create their own security with their own jobs, get their own education, protect themselves through the police state? Why do women still screen for all these factors if they don't need it and we live in this modern world?
Well, it's changing. So yes, women still, because it's still recent, especially if we look at our evolutionary if you look at our evolutionary trajectory, it's still recent that women have been able to get these opportunities. And since then, if you look every single year, more women are okay with making, or their partners making less and less than before. So hypergamy is on the decline. You can look this up.
I would argue it's actually on the incline.
Okay, well, that's just contrary to stats, but I don't know what to do.
Here's the thing. There's a bunch of articles that show that women find men as less economically attractive than ever before. Why do we have higher divorce rates? Why do we have?
We don't have higher divorces. We don't have higher divorce rates in the past. And how long?
Okay, look. Divorce rates. divorce rates are women initiate 70 to 80% of divorces.
Yes, and you constantly
and marriages are at the lowest that they've ever been.
Yes.
Why is that?
So this is something I see you do. You don't understand stats, you just don't get it. Okay. So for instance, you say college educated women, for instance, initiate more of the divorces, right?
Mhm.
Which is true. But then you take that, I've seen you do it, you don't get it. Then you say, oh, college educated women are more likely to get divorced. They're actually way less likely to get divorced. One of the best things you can do to actually prevent divorce is to get married to a college educated woman, especially if you're looking at longevity. A college educated woman is 80% likely to have a marriage that lasts at least 20 years. A woman without a college degree is only 40% likely. But you guys conflate that because you're like, they're more likely to initiate a divorce. So when two people are getting divorced, a woman that has more resources is going to be more likely to initiate and leave a shitty situation. But those women are actually less likely to marry people or get into circumstances where they're going to divorce in the first place. One of the number one things you should look for if you're looking to make sure your marriage lasts is to marry a college educated woman. These stats have been replicated year after year after year. They're in 2023. I looked up 2023 stats right before this. One group of women has marriages that last the longest and are least likely to get divorced, and that is college-educated women. But you guys constantly conflate those stats.
Yeah, but it's harder for college-educated women to find a man in the first place because their standards go up alongside it. And again, that's not true, though, because you're with, I'm a lawyer. I could marry a lawyer in 2 seconds. I'm constantly around other lawyers. The college-educated women are around more educated men. The best position you could be in to marry a lawyer is to be a lawyer yourself. They marry lawyers most often. What percentage of men are lawyers?
Well, what percentage of women?
That's what I'm trying to say.
But rather to be happier than in a miserable relationship.
No. What I'm trying to say, because here's the thing, we got completely off topic there. All I'm saying, because this all started with me saying that just because we have modern conveniences does not necessarily mean that women have changed their mating practices. Women still want a man superior to them in almost every way if given choice.
But it's going down as times change. So you guys are teaching something that's actually becoming less and less valid as time goes on. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know about that, because even though women are more educated now than ever before and they have all the opportunities, all the same rights and privileges, they still want a man that's better than them. I would argue hypergamy goes up as women are educated because women are less likely to settle when they are higher earners.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah, but these women don't have to settle because you're around other high earners. That's what I mean. You're around, lawyers tend to marry. It's called assertive mating. It's you're around other lawyers. You're going to marry lawyers, marry other lawyers, doctors marry other doctors. If I'm in a law office 24/7, it's so easy for me to marry a lawyer. This idea that you guys have, I don't know in Miami
I don't know about
podcasting.
if it's so easy to marry one, but
yeah, I don't know about Miami podcasting world, but lawyers are not marrying 18-year-olds that work at McDonald's. They're marrying other lawyers. Engineers are marrying other engineers.
The point is that men are not pigeon-toed to marry within their class, their socioeconomic level.
They are.
It's the
attraction similarity hypothesis. It's one of the most researched theories in the psychology of attraction. You tend to mate across IQ, across socioeconomic status, across education. This is how people generally mate.
Generally,
men are totally
we're talking about generally. They're more okay. They're more okay with dating down. And again, I don't know what, maybe in new money world it's different, but lawyers and doctors, they're not marrying girls that work at CVS. It's just not a thing. And they're not marrying hot girls off Instagram. My mom's a lawyer, my sisters are lawyers, my cousins are lawyers, all my friends are lawyers. If we all met up and one of them was like, oh, I'm bringing my girlfriend, it's this 19-year-old I met on Instagram, never would happen. They're dentists, they're other lawyers. They're
not going to bring them around y'all because
But are they marrying them? If they're marrying them, then
marrying you. Then you're divorcing them, and then they're going with a hotter.
But I'm way far less likely to divorce them. That's what I just told you. Yes, look up the stats. College-educated women get divorced the least. The likelihood that my marriage is going to last 20 years is 80%. I don't know who here just has a high school education. That's 40%. That's double.
You specifically, or you mean women that are lawyers?
College-educated women. Me, I don't even believe in marriage, so not me. But
so. Yo, you know what's funny? You should date Destiny.
She shifted.
Arguing in bad faith.
It doesn't. Because like I said before, I addressed a bunch of your points, and then you're moving it.
No, what point? No, what point did you address? I I like to argue. I'm a lawyer. So
yeah, no, I know that, but the whole point about you're saying rational inquiry, women, times have changed, and women have changed and evolved in it. But I would argue women have not evolved because women still want a man that's over 6 feet tall.
Do you know how long it takes for evolution? The fact that women have been able to work.
I get that, but my argument is simply that women haven't really changed that much as to what they're attracted to. That's all I was arguing.
That's the
you
case,
tried to make the argument that they did because of modern conveniences. I'm arguing even with modern conveniences, women haven't really changed what they're attracted to.
There's so many articles. I implore your audience to looking up how hypergamy is on the decline. It's still a thing. I'll give you that, but it's on the decline as circumstances change.
If it's on a decline, why are more men reporting lower levels of sex than ever before?
That's so are you looking at the 2018 study? Because
No, there
that
was
has
one
not-
literally that just came out that showed guys between 18 and 20.
Part of the reason that that's also happening is because people are getting married older. So a lot of the reason people had sex younger before is because they were married. That's one of the reasons that people say that. And I'm not saying that some men don't have it tough out here, but
Not some, a majority.
it's not a majority.
Yes, it is.
A majority of men aren't struggling?
A majority of men are not. I mean, maybe majority of your audience, but
No, a majority of men.
The majority of men
struggling.
in general are struggling with women. If they
Worldwide.
you weren't able to leave a lucrative law career and go into OnlyFans and make a bunch of
wait.
money.
So OnlyFans is only because men are struggling?
Jacking off.
Upwards of 90% of men,
clients?
very normal, educated men. Far more educated than
struggling
That are
with
struggling
women.
No,
with
they're
women.
not though. I have so many couples that watch me. Upwards of 90% of men
Bro,
consume and watch
Couples might
porn.
be 2% of your audience.
No.
We're saying most men that work a regular job are
You
struggling.
guys also don't understand that highly educated people don't have the same views on sex work as you guys do. So a lot of them, if they're gonna watch porn, they rather watch it in an ethical way. OnlyFans is a way you can watch it ethically. The money goes directly to the creator. Nobody's under 18. We all have to be verified.
And-
I feel like guys who get pussy don't subscribe to OnlyFans.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
not the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
case.
Yeah.
That's
No.
just not the case. I mean, you can feel that way,
yeah,
but that's just not true.
I don't know. That's how I feel.
The reason why pornography is so popular nowadays,
They get
especially, is
pussy.
because it's so easily accessible. You can get it for free. Guys are able to satisfy their sexual thirst through variety, through the internet. And a lot of guys are struggling with women. I mean, this is a fact at this point. This isn't even like, I don't think so, blah, blah, blah. A majority of men absolutely struggle with dating and meeting women in the
What do you
first
mean by
place.
struggle? Like, where was that? Like, how is struggle? How is that tested for? Like, what is struggle? Like, they're having, like, that just means they can't get every girl they want, or are they not having sex? Like, majority of men are not having sex unless you're looking at a specific cohort age group or that 2008.
How do you know?
What do you mean? How do I know? Because that's not what the stats show.
I mean,
what's- What's your study?
What do you mean? What's my study? Just like that same 2018 graph that all the incels, like you guys, and you, not saying you guys are, but you guys use, that's not been replicated in 2019, 2020, 2021. That actually shows more women are having less sex than men are. And though even that one was at a third, I don't know where you guys are getting majority. Majority is over 50%. And if you guys are saying struggling, you have to define struggling. Struggling is a very vague term. So if you're saying struggling in the sense of, oh, they're struggling because they can't get the baddest bitch on Instagram, sure. But what do you mean by struggling?
most guys have a very difficult time getting dates, getting any type of intimacy from a female, and being able to be successful in their dating ventures. Most guys really struggle. Women find 80 to 90% of men is unattractive on Tinder, Bumble, and all the dating apps. Guys struggle on that. A lot of guys have issues with being able to go up to a girl and talk to her. I'm sure plenty of you guys have experiences where a guy comes up to you and he's awkward, he's stammering, he can't necessarily say what he wants to say. And what I'm saying is that the reason why pornography has exploded in popularity is because so many guys struggle with women and so many guys are socially awkward and aren't able to convey attraction through the way that they behave or the way that they speak.
I don't think pornography is just like some of us, like, I mean, even when I'm in a relationship and I'm horny, I masturbate, I look at porn. Like sometimes even if you're happy in your sex life, those men still look at.
Here's the key word. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how are you assuming they have to? So if they're watching it, they have to. But if
Can a
I'm
man
watching
go out and get laid as quickly and as easily as you can?
no, but that's different.
That's very
though.
important though.
Yeah, but just because they can't do it as easily as I can doesn't mean that every time they're watching porn is because they have no other they don't have sex with anyone ever, right? Like a lot of men, upwards of 90 men watch porn, upwards of 90 men single, 90% of men single. I mean, maybe you guys are going to say upwards of 90% of men are all struggling and they're desperate.
Men don't have the same sexual access and ability to attract the opposite gender that women do. So even if they are getting laid with maybe one girl or maybe a girlfriend that no longer fucks them or takes them seriously, whatever, does not necessarily mean that they're still not struggling with females in general, especially if they have a female or they have a girlfriend. She's not getting them sex anymore. She's not attracted
But
to
you're
him. Maybe she's
creating
out
a
cheating.
false dichotomy. You're saying that, okay, if I'm watching porn, then that's 100% obviously I still could get somebody else. But you're saying every time a guy is watching porn, every guy that's on OnlyFans has no options. They can't get sex. They're all struggling.
I didn't say that.
No, but
I
most
said
guys.
excessive porn consumption a lot of the times is a byproduct.
Excessive, like problematic porn use, because that's what the medical term for it is. I think that you have more of a case for, but not just normal consumption of porn.
Consumption of porn. Here's the thing. Guys
It's
that are
all
good with
consumption
women,
of porn excessive.
Guys that are good with women typically don't watch pornography.
And where are you getting that from? Is there a stat on that, or is that your feelings?
No, that's not my feelings. That's just, that's anecdotal at that point.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
every guy I know
That's
that's
true.
good with women, which is a minority,
Okay.
right? So you can't do a study on that. You can't go line up a bunch of guys like, okay, I need guys that have a lay count of this much, blah, blah, blah. Everybody that I know that's good with women typically does not watch pornography.
Okay, so if we're
And-
just doing the battle of the anecdotes, I know plenty of guys that are good with women and they still watch pornography. So now we're just your anecdote versus
You
my
don't know
anecdote.
that though.
What do you mean I don't? So you know and I don't? They talk to you, but they don't talk to
Well, they're not going to be they're not going to be as honest with you. They're going to try to maybe put themselves in a certain light, or maybe they're having sex with
Well, at
prostitutes.
that point, your claim isn't
you know,
falsifiable. And
or
if it's
they're
not,
having sex with prostitutes, etc. Like they're not going to be as honest with a female. And again, like I said before,
then your claim is not falsifiable. If it's not falsifiable, we're not talking about logic
Here's
and
the thing.
science.
The bottom line is this. Men absolutely struggle in the sexual marketplace with finding and dealing and dating with women. Like that's a fact. That's not even
some men. But you see,
a majority.
I don't know about majority. It depends what you mean by. So you're saying they struggle. They're not getting all the women they want. I would say yes. Then that's true. If that's what you mean by struggle, then
their
yes.
mental health is literally freaking crushed.
Can I explain something to you that I said earlier?
Yeah, guys are absolutely struggling with women. That's like a fact.
Some guys, yeah.
I would argue majority.
Yeah, you would argue majority. I would say it's not a majority. So that's where we disagree.
What percentage do you think struggle then?
I don't like to talk about what I just think. I like to look at what data we have available, and I have.
Yeah, but you also have to be realistic and understand that some studies are not going to pass ethical standards. They're not going to be able to do it, etc. So you have to use a little bit of common sense as well.
I listed a lot of studies, and I look at the ones that are replicable, falsifiable, peer review. I know how to read studies, and so I mean, I'm sure there's stats on there, but even the worst ones I've seen show it at about a third. A third is still not a majority.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I agree.
And that's just the guys that are reporting, and we know that men are more likely.
But we have no way of knowing that those guys
likely to over-report their sexual activity.
Well, we also have no way of knowing that those men that are struggling are the ones watching OnlyFans or watching more porn.
Can I say
a lot of problematic porn use also overlaps with like anxiety, depression. There's a bunch of other stuff. There's something called moral incongruence. So they've done tests where they look at men who watch a lot of think they have a problem with porn and men who don't think they have a problem, and like how much it's interfering with their daily activities,
I'm just saying porn consumption is a component of guys struggling with women. I'm not saying that is the reason. I'm saying that's a component as to why guys struggle.
So you're saying it's correlated or it's causing, or what are you saying?
It's a part of the issue.
So which one comes
Why
first?
guys,
The egg or which one comes first?
Guys struggle with women.
And then they watch porn? Or so watching porn doesn't make them struggle? Like some people make that claim. Sorry, I'm just trying to clarify.
It could be either or. Every situation is different. It could be either or. So, but what I'm saying is that the bottom line is that men struggle with women, and a way to deal with struggling with women and being able to get the variety or the sexual access that they want is they revert to pornography.
That's one way, but there's also, if you look at the people that watch porn, that's one reason someone might watch porn, but there are a multitude of other reasons. That's what I'm saying. Some people are just fucking horny.
I literally just said that too. That's just one component. It could be going through pornography. I know,
but your initial claim was that, the reason that this is happening with pornography is just because of this.
I never said just because.
Okay, so it's just one component.
I never said just because.
Okay, I would say it's a component then. I agree with you. I'm sorry if I just said you said just because if you didn't, but I don't even think it's a huge component.
All we're saying is that your industry literally is a majority of men, and as a result, these men are lazy. They don't want to go. Some men, of course, don't want to go out and talk to girls because they could just watch you.
Yes, is a percentage of them? Yes, but I don't even think that's a big percentage, and that's where we disagree. And unless we have evidence for either of our claims,
I see why she quit. Went off.
Well, okay.
God damn.
But regardless, men do watch you, and the majority of your audience is men.
Yeah, the majority of my audience is men. Correct.
So, yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're all lonely men, or that they're all lazy men, or that they can't get girls, or any of those claims.
They put you on mute.
I think
a lot of guys struggle with women, man. I mean, like I said before, there's a reason why we got like 20,000, 15 to 20K people watching us or whatever it may be. Like a lot of guys watch the type of content. There's been an explosion in dating content. Yeah. Why is that? The reason why is because there's clearly an issue with guys being able to meet, deal, and date with
yeah, there is an issue, and the ones that watch this are probably the ones that have the issue. I agree.
And there's a rise of virgins, especially on the men's side as well.
Yeah, and we're looking at like age, like in the age range, and that's what I said. We're also getting married later.
Under 30.
Yeah, we're getting married later.
Find most men unattractive.
Yeah,
but I don't see how that relates to the.
That absolutely relates because since women find most men as unattractive and not good candidates, they're not going to give them a chance, and those guys struggle.
Agreed.
Yeah, but
that's all I'm trying to say.
But like, most men are not. So like these men that are unattractive, like there's no data that indicates tall men get married more fat men. Actually, fat men. There's some studies that show they have more sex. Poor people have more kids than rich people. This idea that only the top
that's because they're not as likely to use contraception. They don't have access to.
But they're having sex. No, even when you look at partners though, like when you look at partners, like it's average to tall guys have on average 3 more partners. Weight, BMI doesn't seem to have an effect on it. Okay, well then they have game. Okay, whatever you want to say, but this idea that you have to be rich, you have to be this, you have to be. There's a reason that rich guys are not having that much more sex than some poor guys. They're just having sex with different women because we tend to have sex with people around us.
But it's also intent as well. If I intend to do something, I have intention behind my actions, I will get what I want.
So yeah, men who want to have sex. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But can they is a question.
And we're
can't.
seeing that fat men can't do it just as much as fit men, and we're seeing short men do it almost as much as tall men. So this idea that people are mating, okay? Everyone's mating. A lot of people. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people are, and it's not just the tall, it's not just the rich, it's not just the skinny. People are mating. People are having sex
with who they want.
Women
to,
are.
or
Men. A lot of men. Women are having sex with a smaller percent. There's a reason why only 40% of men since the beginning of time have been able to pass on their genes versus like 99% of women have been able to pass on their genes. Since the beginning of time,
what do you
women
mean
have
when you
always
say the beginning of
screamed
time?
Since the beginning of time, humans
like the Big Bang? Because we weren't even
Here
like.
we go. You're moving goalposts. I'm simply telling you.
This is just a bizarre claim.
No,
like the beginning of time. Are we telling a story? Is
no.
science?
Look, I'm simply saying it's a phrase. What I'm basically telling you is men, since the beginning of human evolution, have had issues with mating. It's not just a modern situation. 40% of men have been able to procreate versus 90+% of women have been able to procreate. So what does that tell you? That tells you that a majority of men are just unattractive to a majority of women, and that's okay because women are the ones that carry on the next generation. So they have to be more selective in their mating practices. What I'm saying is that as a byproduct of women being more selective in their mating practices, a majority of men are virtually invisible. That's what I'm saying.
I disagree with it being a majority, but I don't want to keep everyone.
Fantastic. Okay.
Bad faith for like almost 30 minutes.
Hey, she had things that she had to speak about.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's fine.
Where are we at here? Okay, ladies, if a woman demands that you can only smash her, she should be ready to get.
I think we were on her for why you said no. Because she disagrees.
Oh yeah,
with
because she's saying that men and women are equal. That's how this all started. Was men and women are equal, and I disagree with that.
They are.
I mean, I would argue you don't even pick men that are equal to you.
What do you mean? In what way? What do you mean by equal? Because we could be selecting
peers,
for different traits.
You said that you don't fuck your peers, so at all.
I don't what?
Fuck your peers. Like
I don't fuck my peers.
Lawyers.
Yes, lawyers, whatever.
I mean, I barely fuck anyone, but that's just me.
Why?
But because I'm boring.
You're not boring.
No, it's choice.
Because you're selective, which is what I was saying before.
It's choice.
Yeah, but I'm not selecting for the things. I'm not selecting for resources and all the things you guys say. I like high intelligence, high humor. Like those are the things.
Which are indicators that create what?
Which are indicators.
What does high intelligence and humor and all
that we're gonna have a good fucking time.
Okay, and what else?
That is going to be a fun life for me.
Someone that's intelligent also is more likely to make money, correct?
Yeah, but that I don't care. Actually, like I make a lot of money on OnlyFans. He's not going to make as much money as me by being super intelligent unless he's like a tech genius or something.
Yeah, but women typically look for traits that will make someone an indicator of them being able to create security in the future. This is why women look for ambition, a guy that's a go-getter.
This is similar to the thing I was saying, the attraction similarity hypothesis. People should look it up. It's really well studied in the psychology of attraction. People tend to mate across. So I like to talk. I like to debate. I like intellectuals. So I like men that can also do that. I don't care how much money you make because I can pay my own bills.
You could say that, but I would say if you were to take the guy seriously and do something, go with him in a direction where it's going to be a more serious relationship, how much he makes absolutely will play a factor in it.
No, I mean, he can't. He has to pay his own bills.
He wouldn't care how much money you made. That's my point.
Yeah, men may not care as much about how much money a woman makes, but they do care about intelligence and education, especially educated and intelligent men. I can assure you that. And that's
debatable.
Even been
You want
there's a
your
great study.
children
Everyone
raised by
should
a
look it up.
dumb girl?
Look up the
You don't want that.
necessities and luxuries of mating. It's a great study they just did where they look at when choices are restricted, men do look for physical attractiveness, women look for financial security. So these are necessities, but they also found research on that intelligence is one of those. Now, when people have an abundance of options, then they usually have a threshold like, okay, she has to be this attractive. Then they look for kindness, whatever. But intelligence was actually found to be a necessity. People have a threshold. Both genders equally have a threshold for how intelligent they want their mate to be. That's a necessity.
Yeah, IQ hurts women though. Women that have higher IQs, this has been shown. Since you want to talk about studies, the higher woman's IQ, the less likely she is to be married.
College-educated women are most likely to be married.
The more higher your IQ, the more likely you are to be married. Higher IQ actually hurts women with finding a mate.
I didn't look at IQ, but I know college-educated women are more likely to be married.
But that doesn't.
I know that's not IQ. But I didn't look at the stats on IQ, but I do know that college.
Because you're talking about being highly intelligent, etc. Well, women that are highly intelligent have a tougher time finding a man.
Because you don't put up with bullshit.
Wait, so you don't want a man?
I didn't say I don't want a man. I said I don't want to be married. I don't believe in making lifelong commitments, lifelong promises. I only make promises for the foreseeable future. Life is not foreseeable.
Emotional damage.
I'm gonna leave it there because everyone needs